There's a certain feeling on a job site when you just know something's changed with your coworkers. Nobody says it straight to your face, but you can feel it. The way your coworkers talk to you changes. The patience isn't the same. Maybe they aren't showing you as much anymore. Maybe the jokes feel a little different. Maybe you start feeling like you're there, but not really being brought into the circle the same way. And if you've ever felt that, then you know exactly how bad that it can be when it gets in your head. Because once that starts happening, you start wondering what changed. You start wondering if you said something wrong, did something wrong, or if your coworkers just stopped seeing you the same way. And a lot of the time, it isn't one huge mistake. It's something smaller, something a lot of people do without even realizing it. In the last video, I talked about how respect gets built on a job site. Well, this is the other side of that. Because the truth is, respect can be lost a lot faster than it's earned. And one of the fastest ways to lose it is when you start acting like you're above the work before you've earned anything. That's the one thing that gets people. Usually this doesn't happen because you're new. That's what a lot of people get wrong. Being new doesn't make your coworkers lose respect for you. Not knowing something doesn't make your coworkers lose respect for you. Asking questions does not make your coworkers lose respect for you. What changes things is when you come in green and you start giving off the feeling that certain work is beneath you. Your coworkers pick up on that very fast. They see it when you're cleaning up and then your attitude changes. They see it when the dirty work comes up and somehow you're just gone. They see it when somebody corrects you and instead of just taking it, there's a sigh, an excuse, a look of some little reaction that says to them, you shouldn't have to hear this. They see it when you want the good parts of the trade, the money, the respect, the skill, the title, but you don't want the process that comes before any of it. And that lands right away with your coworkers. Because a job site runs on trust, but it's not just about trust. A job site isn't just about who can physically do the work. That does have a huge part, but it's also about how you get along with your coworkers. Can people count on you? Can people teach you without getting attitude back? Can people spend 10, 12 hours around you without feeling like you make the whole day heavier? And that matters more than a lot of people realize. Because once your coworkers stop trusting your attitude, they usually stop wanting to work with you as well. And when that starts happening, everything gets harder. People stop showing you as much. They stop bringing you into things the same way. They even stop wanting to pair up with you. They can even stop recommending you when the boss needs somebody for another job or for something with more responsibility. And sometimes it goes a lot further than that as well. They will actually start complaining to the boss that they don't want to work with you at all. And it's not always because you can't do the work. It's because working with you starts feeling harder than it needs to. And that's what the coworkers are picking up on all day long. It's trust, yeah, but it's also whether you're the kind of person that people actually want beside them, working day in and day out. And that's why this matters so much, especially when you're new. Because early on, respect doesn't come from proving how much you know. Most of the time, it comes from proving how you carry yourself when you don't know everything yet. And that's what your coworkers are really, really watching. Anybody can look sharp when the fun part starts, but the real stuff shows up in the boring parts. Clean up, carrying material, organizing tools, doing the same thing properly when nobody's looking, still giving effort late in the day, still paying attention when the tasks don't feel important. That's where your coworkers start figuring out who you really are. And if you've been around job sites long enough, like myself, you've probably felt this happen. Maybe not all at once, maybe not in some big dramatic moment, yet those do happen. But you can feel it when your coworkers start seeing you differently. Nobody sits down with you and says it straight, but you know the vibe's changed. The people aren't dealing with you the same way anymore. And that gets to you. It messes with your head. You start wondering why somebody else is getting shown more than you are. You start wondering why your coworkers seem short with you than when they used to be when you first started. And sometimes the truth is hard to hear. Sometimes it isn't your ability. Sometimes it's the way you carry yourself. And that is honestly the hard part, because most experienced people expect you to be new. That is completely normal. What wears your coworkers down is when you're hard to teach. That's the difference. If you're new, but you listen, work hard, and stay humble, and you own to your own mistakes, your coworkers will usually give you a lot of patience. A lot. But if you act like correction is beneath you or basic work you shouldn't be doing, the patience goes fast. Because now it doesn't feel like an experience problem. Now it feels like an attitude problem. An attitude shows up in a small way. And that's the thing. Somebody starts showing you something and you cut the explanation off halfway through. You make mistakes and instantly start blaming everything else or somebody else at that matter. You get asked to do something simple and act like the whole world is against you. You stand there waiting to be told every little thing instead of looking around and finding a way to help. But to your coworkers, that says a lot. It tells a story. And usually the story sounds like this. You want the rewards, but you don't want to grind. And I've worked with apprentices that way. And I've kicked apprentices off job sites for that. And this is where confidence and ego get mixed up in the trade as well. Because confidence is calm. You can take correction. It says, yeah, that one's on me. Confidence says, show me again. But this is where the ego comes in. It says, you can't handle that. You get defensive. You use excuses. And you always want to protect yourself. There's a big difference between confidence and ego. Confidence is basically somebody who's going to see what needs to get done. Ego just says, nah, it's not my job. And that one right there will bury you fast. Because on the job site, your coworkers don't respect somebody who acts too good for the work before proving anything. They just don't. And the trades have a way of exposing the attitude pretty quick. You can't fake it long. The work exposes it. Your coworkers will feel it. And little by little, the respect starts drying up. And that's usually how it happens, not in one giant blow up. It leaks out little at a time. One excuse, one lazy response, one unfinished task, an eye roll maybe at the wrong moment. Maybe you weren't listening. One time acting like basic work is somehow beneath you. That's how it goes. Little things over time. And most of the time, you don't even realize how obvious it is to the people around you. And that's what makes this so important. Because once the respect starts dropping, it doesn't just affect how your coworkers see you. It affects how much they invest in you. They stop explaining as much. They stop trusting you as much. You won't even get much room to work on your own. And then sometimes when you're on the receiving end of that, it feels like everybody is against you. When really your coworkers just got tired. They got tired of feeling like the effort wasn't there. So why does this matter so much if you actually want to build something in the trades? Well, it's simple. The people who earn respect the fastest usually aren't the flashiest people. Usually they aren't the loudest either. They're just solid, hardworking people. They stay useful, they stay steady, and they ask good questions. They move with purpose. They handle the small stuff like it matters. They don't need every task to feel important before they give any effort to it. And that stands out. It really does. And once you start losing respect, it can actually take longer to gain that respect back. That's the kind of person coworkers want around. The type of person that coworkers can teach. The kind of person that the coworkers can trust on. Not because you know everything, not because you're trying to look impressive, just because people can feel that you actually care. And that matters. It goes a huge way with earning respect. So when I say the fastest way to lose respect on the job site is acting like you're above the work, that's what I mean. It's bigger than one small task. It's the attitude that you represent or the attitude that your coworkers are reading from you. If your attitude says, I'm here to learn and I'm here to help and I'm not too big for the basic stuff, your coworkers will feel that. And if your attitude says, I am too good for this, your coworkers feel that too. One of these attitudes opens doors, the other one shuts them. So the flip side is simple. If you want respect on the job site, do the small things well. Show up on time, stay off the phone, pay attention. Finish things properly. And if you don't know what you're doing, ask for it. Ask for some help. Don't be afraid to go to the journey person and say, hey, I listened to what you said, but I still can't figure it out. Can you show me? That goes a long way. Because this stuff doesn't just show that you care. It builds your reputation. And in the trades, your reputation starts forming way before your skill actually catches up. And that's something a lot of people need to hear. You don't need to know everything to be respected, but you do need to carry yourself in a way that makes your coworkers want to teach you and help you learn things. And that's where the real respect starts. And if you've been on the job site for a while, you kind of already know how quickly you can feel this stuff. You can tell pretty early if you're there to learn and if you're there just for the image. You can tell pretty early if you're helping yourself grow or quietly getting in the way. And as a journey person, I can tell within the first few days what kind of person you're going to be like. And that's why this matters, because one bad attitude can quietly stall you out before you even realize what's happening. So I'm curious, what's the fastest way you've seen somebody lose respect with your coworkers on the job site? I want to know down in the comments, because the answers might surprise you. Every trade will be different. Every journey person will see something different. So let me know down in the comments what you've found on the job site which caused you to lose respect or another coworker to lose respect fast.